Welcome everybody to the very first video explaining the 8-week New Year's Transformation Challenge. I hope you're ready for this challenge. I hope you've read through the program. This is going to be a nice and relaxed follow along video. I didn't do a lot of scripting on this video. I'm just going to run through it with you guys to make sure you understand how this program works and how to get the best results possible in the following 8 weeks. I hope you're ready for this. I hope you're motivated. I hope you have your whole area set up where you want to work out and you have all of your sweets and stuff taken out of the cupboards. This is going to be awesome. This program isn't just an 8-week program. This program is supposed to teach you how to completely change your whole lifestyle for a very long time. So you'll see I focus very much on nutrition information and education to make sure that you actually know how to approach nutrition, how to work with it for the rest of your life and not just for the next 8 weeks. So a lot of these principles that I'm going to discuss today will help you to take it through the rest of your life and be happy and healthy. Okay, so I'm going to start us off. I have my laptop open here with the home workout program. The programs look very similar, although obviously the workout plans themselves differ, but the core structure of the programs look similar. So let's go through the whole program step by step, explaining everything. And please, if you have more questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section of this video or on the WhatsApp groups. That's why we're here. We're all going to be on the groups together, especially myself and Peter, my right-hand man. We're going to be answering all of the questions you guys have on the WhatsApp groups. Please keep all of the questions on the WhatsApp groups so that I can address the questions in such a way that more people can benefit from it than just one single person at a time. All right, cool. So let's run through the the workout plan. The very first page, obviously, is just your welcome page and me with some donuts. Backstory of the donuts, I wanted to take a photo that contradicts health and fitness in such a way where it is possible to bring in foods like donuts, like unhealthy foods, into your diet and still be healthy and also look healthy. So I think a very important thing to remember is there is no such thing as a good food and a bad food. There is only a too much of something that can lead to unhealthy changes in the body, right? So donuts, for instance, are high in fat and high in sugars. Sugars will increase your insulin levels and blood sugar levels and be unhealthy in such a way, will make you gain weight. And the saturated fats from the donuts, in which they cook the donuts basically, will make you insulin resistant and cause cholesterol issues and stuff like that. Okay, so but anyways, let's keep through that. The very first page on this program, let me just go through here. The very first page is a welcome page, a disclaimer at the bottom of this page. Please read through this program properly, right? It's very important. Sit down, take out a notebook and start writing down notes, especially now. So if you don't have a notebook with you, quickly grab a notebook, pause this video and come back. We're going to make some notes, especially when we start calculating our calories and stuff like that. You're going to need a notebook. Okay, so grab a notebook and then properly read through this whole program. I'm not going to read through the whole program now. You're going to have to do that on your own. I'm just going to touch on the very important parts. Okay, cool. So I always say this one word, this one sentence: if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And it really is so. If you don't have your foods ready for the day, if you haven't planned when you're going to do your workout sessions in the week, you will fail. You will come to a point where you're hungry or you're tired or you've had a very busy day and then you just feel like giving up or not doing the effort to make healthy food. And then obviously you'll grab something unhealthy and then you'll go down the rabbit hole of that. So set yourself up for success. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Write that down on the board, on your notebook, right at the top. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. All right, cool. Consistency really is key to get good results. So you want to consistently win every single day. The more wins you have, the better. All right. So then I have on page 2 an introduction plan, which just runs you through why this program was developed, how it works. You'll see me in the background of that photo, and Peter, as I mentioned previously, is going to help us on the workout plan, on the WhatsApp groups. He's the guy on the right here. And then you have an index plan followed by some reviews and results of some of my clients. Obviously, if you've been on my Instagram and on my website and all over the place, you've seen that I like to share the results. And I want you guys to really focus on progress over time and not perfection. So what often happens with people is they over obsess about nutrition and workouts. And they're like, yeah, I did this little thing wrong and that little thing wrong, and then I'm not going to get results. It really isn't the case. Progress over perfection. Perfection doesn't exist. Every day where you can do something a little bit better than you did the previous day is a win in my books and should be in yours too. All right, so focus on long-term goals rather than short-term goals. Although this is an 8-week program and we want to go all in, the long-term results, that is what we're aiming for. Okay, so during the next 8 weeks, I want you to say to yourself, I'm going to give it my all. I'm really going to change my lifestyle. I'm really going to put in the effort. Even though I don't plan on doing low carb for the people who aim to lose weight, for the rest of my life, I'm really going to focus on doing it for this 8 weeks. Same as alcohol and donuts and stuff like that. Yes, there's a place for it in your life, but for the next 8 weeks, I want you to really zone in and do it all in and take away the alcohol, take away the donuts. It's just 8 weeks. You really can do it and it really will give you the best results. Okay, cool. Let's move on to the next page, which is explaining the workout plan and the workout calendar. So these workouts have been developed in a phased approach. So what you will see is there are 3 phases during the next 8 weeks. And each of these phases will be harder and more difficult and more complex. And we do this because we want to push the body to adapt. So we want the body to go and say, oh, I'm getting used to this. The moment the body says that, you want to increase the intensity, increase the time, or increase the amount of exercises you do or the amounts of weight you do, etc. So we want to focus on the principle called progressive overload. The only way the body changes, adapts, is when you keep on pushing it a little bit further. All right, so once you become comfortable in workouts, you know it's time to change. Okay, the workout calendar differs for all of the different groups. So I think we have a group starting on the 1st, the 17th, and the 10th or something like that. I can't remember the exact groups, but there are 3 different groups. So all of you will get your own calendar, which shows on which dates you do what. So a very good question usually comes, what happens if I don't train this day? What should I do? The answer to this is just continue with the program. Don't try and catch up the workout session. Don't do 3 workout sessions in one day because you skipped 2 workout sessions. Just let it go and go on with the workouts recommended for that day. Okay, awesome. So then we go on to warm-ups, cool-downs, and the importance thereof. Cool. So warm-ups and cool-downs are often neglected in workout plans because we feel it's redundant, right? It really isn't, and here is why. A warm-up is important because it gradually, the word that you should focus on here with warm-up is gradually. It gradually increases your heart rate. It gradually increases your blood perfusion to your muscles. It gradually increases your neural activation. So it gets the neurons to fire properly to make sure all of the muscles, say for instance around the knee, are properly activated and working. And this becomes very important so that we can avoid getting injuries. So imagine 5 out of the 8 muscles are active and ready to go, but the other 3 are still kind of working but not 100% yet. That's when injuries happen. That's why we want to gradually increase the intensity and warm up. And literally the word warm up means the fluids in the joints warm up, becomes less viscous, meaning there's less friction in the joints. Obviously better for the joints of the health of the joints. All right, cool. So that's the importance of a warm up. The importance of a cool down is gradual decline in all of the same things, in heat, in heart rate, to help the muscles where all of the blood accumulated while you just did your workout, to help remove some of the byproducts. So as you're doing, say for instance, a bicep curl, as you're doing that, a lot of byproducts build up in the biceps, and now it sits there. And it will cause inflammation and pain the next day. I'm sure you've heard of delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS in short. This is basically the soreness in the muscles that you get the next day. So if you do a proper cool down, you stretch properly, you get the heart rate to slowly come down, it will remove some of that byproducts, reducing that pain the next day and helping you recover faster. So quick little information, lactic acid buildup does not mean muscle soreness the next day, and it's also not lactic acid that causes the muscle soreness. Fun fact, it's actually micro tears in the muscles due to the exercise and the stress put on them, and then that little micro tears, inflammation follows, which heals the muscle, but that inflammation causes the pain. Fun fact, right. Cool beans, there's a good question that I always get, Stefan, what weight or which weights should I use, when, how much, how heavy? And the answer to this is, if I tell you to do 7, or let's say 8 repetitions of 3 sets. So you're going to do 8 bicep curls 3 times. If you can do the last set, set number 3, and you can do 8 reps, and I tell you, listen, do 3 more reps, and you can say, yeah, easy peasy, then you know the weight you're using is too light. All right. So the importance here is to push yourself to, I like to say, the 2 for 2 rule, to use the 2 for 2 rule, meaning if you can do 2 more repetitions for 2 sessions in a row for that same exercise, then you need to increase the weight. All right. I hope that makes sense. Otherwise, think of it this way. Don't leave more than 2 reps in your reserve tank. Right. So if I tell you do 2 more reps in the last set and you can say easy peasy, then the weight isn't heavy enough. Okay. Push yourself. Cool beans. Let's move on to the next page, which speaks about this progress and this consistency, which is key. As I said, we want to consistently push the body to adapt and grow and progress. You can read through that, and then some exercise tips onto getting into a routine and have your workout plan be your workouts be scheduled throughout the week and all of these things. Okay, cool beans. What's next on this page that we can go through? The next one is progress report. So there's one thing that I love to tell my clients, which they often neglect, and that is take before and after photos and write down your starting measurements. This is something that we think, ah, yeah, I don't even know if I'm going to get good results, so why even bother? You know, go in with the right mindset. There's going to be a complete transformation, and sometimes you struggle to keep track of this transformation because we see ourselves in the mirror every single day. So imagine if you look in the mirror and your hips or your abs start showing a little bit more. Every day you see it, you get used to it, and you never really see that massive change. So the photos help to quantify, to be able to see, yes, I see change from here to here, and the measurements as well. So I always say we measure progress in a few different ways. We check how the body changes, which is the most important when it comes to your physique. So the image you see in the mirror is even more important than your weight or your measurements, because weight and measurements can be influenced by a lot of things which skews your results. All right, so the first thing on the list is, how do I look? Am I changing in the mirror? The second way we quantify if there is progress is obviously with measuring tape. So we measure our center and we measure our arms and our legs to see, is there a change in the circumference? Then we measure weight. But remember, weight isn't the only thing that, or the weight on the scale isn't the only thing that the scale is weighing. So we can't see if fat is dropping and muscle is increasing, which means your weight stays the same. You won't see it on a normal scale. So I always say it's good to look at the scale because it will be an indication if you're going in the right direction. But if you're building a little bit of muscle while you're losing fat, it won't change that much. All right. So if you can use a in-body scale where you can get percentage body fat and kilograms body fat and all of that, that's very nice. But if not, the scale, the measuring tape, and before and after photos are very good ways to measure your progress. That brings us to the progress report itself. You will see that I've explained exactly how to do the measurements. I have some starting weights, starting chest, arms, waist, blocks for you to write in. And then also I have a weekly rating and weight. So every week, on a Friday morning before you eat anything, weigh yourself before you eat anything, only on a Friday morning. So please don't weigh yourself throughout the rest of the week. It's very bad for your mental health to weigh yourself every single day. Our weight really fluctuates a lot. It can fluctuate with 2 kilograms in one day, and that's only water retention and food in your stomach and your toilet, what. All of that can really influence it a lot. So only weigh yourself once a week, and if over a 3-week period you don't see a decrease in weight or increase in weight depending on your goals, then you know something's wrong. But you have to give it 3 full weeks. And remember, a weekend ruins a whole week's hard work. So if you have one bad weekend, you cancel out a whole week. So if you do a good week followed by a bad weekend, cancel out that week. Good week followed by another bad weekend, cancel out that whole week. You haven't done anything. That's how serious weekends can influence your results. So go all in, be active on weekends, focus on doing it as good as possible. Okay, awesome. And then the weekly rating, in your opinion, obviously it's very opinion based. In your opinion, write down, were you very happy with it, very sad with it? Was it a mediocre week? Could I have done more? If you choose the very happy button right at the right, the very like top one to choose for, yes, this was a great week, then you really have to have, I would say, a 95% plus success rate with everything you should have done. You hit your protein goals, you stayed under your carb and your fat goals, you got your workout sessions in. Overall, it was a great week. Then you choose the last one. All right. Fantastic. Anything else on this page that I want to chat about? No. This is all. So you will take your starting measurements, in the middle of the program measurements, and then at the end measurements again. Okay. And then we go over to the fitness test. Fitness test is another way to quantify your progress, which I kind of put in its own little box because a lot of people focus only on how they look, and that is where all of the measurements come in, and then other people focus on performance. So it's awesome when you can make the mind shift from how do I look to how do I function? You know, how healthy am I? How fit am I? That's the block you want to be in. That's the focusing goals that you want to focus on. Obviously, a lot of us focus on how we look, which is also important, but our health and our fitness is way more important than that. So this is where the fitness test comes in. This is an all-out maximum effort test. So I want you to mentally prepare yourself. I want you to physically prepare yourself to go all in on every one of these 4 different movements. So please do a proper warm-up before the fitness test and do a proper cool-down afterwards. So you'll see the 4 movements that you're going to do is as many burpees as you can in 1 minute, holding a plank position for as long as you can, and as many bodyweight squats until you fail, and the last one is as many push-ups as you can in 1 minute. So it's important to not do all of these movements all in one go. So you don't want to go the first one, then the second one, then the third one with no rest. You don't want to do that. You want to take a rest period, and this rest period can be as long as you want it to fully recover. So the most important thing here is recover completely before doing the next one. Write down how many reps and sets and how long you did it for, and also write down your rest period, because you want to have the same rest period for the next time you do the fitness test. So very important is obviously to standardize how you're doing it. So if you're doing a push-up now and you're doing lady push-ups and you're doing 50 of them, then remember that next time you should also do lady push-ups. The same goes for a body weight squat. If you're using a weight for this, then the next time you should use the same weight. Or if you're doing a body weight squat, remember if you're going down to a certain degree, then you should go down to the same one for the next time you do it. Try and keep it as consistent as possible to get reliable results. Okay, that's more or less what I wanted to say with these fitness tests. Please warm up properly, don't injure yourself, but give me all effort, all in effort. Okay, and share your results with us on the group, how you did with the fitness tests. I'll probably do the same and share it on the groups to see if you can measure yourself up against me, if you want to. Okay, next up we have the workout plan. Before we get to the workout plan, I will be sending all of the calendars on the group of when to do which exercise, and I've mentioned previously what happens if you skip them. And then the freaking coolest part of this program is that we were able to make workout videos for all of the home workouts and all of the movements, right? So if you click on this button that says body weight squat, it will take you straight through to a video showing you exactly how to do the body weight squat. Isn't that awesome? And that is so for all of the workouts on this program, especially on the home program. Some of the other programs, no, all of the programs have it. The gym programs have it, the home programs have it. I think it's just the home programs that has me doing it. The other ones have links to other videos. But I mean, that's pretty cool. So if you don't know how to do a certain movement, literally just click on the name and it'll take you straight through to the video. And also on my YouTube, I have full follow along workout videos that you can follow while you're doing your exercises. Those are very cool. I'll share the links on the WhatsApp groups as well, but that's pretty cool when it comes to workouts. Something that I want to mention with workouts is the idea of no pain, no gain is such a misleading concept. Please don't follow it. Don't think, yeah, a little bit of shoulder pain is okay. It's not. If you have some joint pains, I recommend substituting that exercise with some of the other ones that I'll show you now. We have a whole substitution list. So if you have a knee injury or a hip injury or a shoulder injury, we have some substitutes for you to do. Okay, but it's very important, the whole idea of no pain, no gain. There is place for it, but it's not in the way that a lot of people think of it. So if you have a joint pain, no go, stop the movement, get a new movement, or stop the workout completely. Okay, awesome. So with these workouts, remember full warm-up, then the workout, and then a full cool-down session. Even the warm-ups have clickable buttons. We'll take you straight through a warm-up video that I have made that you can follow to warm up completely. All right, that's pretty cool. And that is in regards to the workout plans, more or less what I can tell you now. Obviously, it'll take some time to get used to everything, to get to know the movements, focus on your form, and be intentional with doing the workout movements correctly before increasing weight. Don't be that person who increases the weight you're using or the intensity before you can actually do the movement properly, right? Technique is way more important than performing it with a heavy weight. The biggest thing that stops the most people from completing such a program is an injury because they try to go too heavy too quickly. Okay. Then in regards to reps, sets, weight intensity, a repetition is, for instance, a bicep curl. Once, that is 1 repetition. Twice, that is 2 repetitions, so 2 reps. A set is when I say do 13 repetitions, 1, 2, 3. You do that 13 times, and that is 1 set. So if I say 3 sets of 13 reps, you're going to do 1 set where you do 13, and then you rest, and then you do the second one for 13, and then you rest, and then you do the third one. An important thing to note or to remember while you're doing these exercises and you're resting, keep your rest periods low. So don't over rest. I usually say between a workout movement, so between set 1 of biceps and set 2 of biceps, rest between 30 and 60 seconds. And if you're done with the whole workout plan or the whole workout movement, the 3 sets of 16 reps, and you're moving over to the next one, say for instance shoulder presses, give around 2 minutes of rest, 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, fantastic. Obviously we have different goals. So if you focus on muscle building, so building bigger muscles, then you want to have your rest periods around 30 seconds to 60 seconds. And if you want to, you can even go lower to 15 to 30 seconds, depending on the weight you're using. And if you're going to do strength training, then you want to focus on having your rest periods a little bit longer so that you can use heavier weights. Okay, fantastic. Let's move over to the next one. The next page, which is going to be page 11, that is all of the other workouts. You'll see right next to main workout, it says week 1 to 3, full body workout. That is where you can see which workout is which one. Okay, awesome. I'm going to skip through the rest of the workouts. Oh, when I say BW, that means body weight. So when I say under the weight and intensity, I say BW, that's body weight. If I say 1 RM, RM is a repetition maximum. So that means that is your maximum amount of weight that you can use for 1 rep. So if I would say use your 12 RM, that means you should use your 12 repetition maximum. So the maximum amount of weight you can use to just finish 12 repetitions. Okay. Then let me continue to what is next on the program, cardio. Let's speak cardio. Why is cardio important? How does it help for weight loss? How does it help for muscle building? Let's chat about all of this. When it comes to cardio, you want to focus on the benefits that cardio bring in the long term. So cardio exercises focus on cardiovascular system, meaning your heart and your lungs as well as your arteries. So doing cardio will increase your fitness levels and also increase your heart health, your artery health, the muscle perfusion, so the blood that gets to the muscles, the way the muscles take away the byproduct, all of this will become more efficient. So you have to do cardio to become fit and healthy and get rid of all of the, I almost want to say malfunctioning vascular systems and all of that. So it's very important. Cardio for muscle building becomes important when you're trying to remove byproducts, and cardio for weight loss becomes important because it's a whole body movement, meaning it burns a lot of calories, and therefore it will help you reduce your weight and lose fat and all of that. I won't bore you with all of the details on why cardio is important, but cardio is very important for both muscle building and fat loss. All right, so when you're doing cardio, there's a few ways to quantify how intense the session is. One of the ways we usually use is a RPE, so a rate of perceived exertion. So basically, how do you feel when you're doing this movement? If I say from a level of 1 to 10, how difficult or how torturous is the session, then you can just quantify it on a scale like that. And if I tell you, if we use a heart rate as your intensity indicator, then we usually say, right, so your age is 20, and we usually use a formula that says 220 minus your age, which gives you 200. That is usually your maximum heart rate for your age, right? So if I say you should be training at 70%, right, of intensity, then we're going to use 70% of 200, which will give us your maximum heart rate, and then 70% thereof. So you should be training in that zone. Or we use the rate of perceived exertion, which is on a scale of 1 to 10. If I say you should be training at 70, meaning you should say, yeah, the intensity of this session is usually, or is at the moment, is at a 7 out of 10. Okay, that's the two ways that you can quantify it. So usually I want to say if you're aiming to really have a good cardio session, you should be at around 70%, right? If you have heart problems, I'd recommend that you stay below a 60% or around a 60%. And if you are an elite athlete and you really can push yourself, go to a 90%, really get there. You don't have to stay at that level for the whole session, but get a few places within the session where you reach that level, where you really push your ceilings to force the body to adapt. Okay, so there's many ways of doing cardio. Cardio isn't necessarily a certain movement like running, swimming, cycling, something like that. Cardio is a repetitive movement that's done for a prolonged period of time. So it can be a burpee. A burpee can be cardio if it's done repetitively over a long period of time with a sub-maximal effort intensity, if you can say it like that. It becomes very important, very complicated very quickly, but I'll stop it right there for now. I hope to, in the next videos that's coming, to educate you a little bit more on all of the different exercises and how they work and what they do. Okay, so say for instance, we are talking about cycling and running and HIIT training. All of these can be cardio if done correctly, and all of these can become anaerobic strength building as well if done in a different way. So think of a runner, somebody who runs 10 kilometers in the morning versus somebody who does 10 100-meter sprints. They both are doing two completely different exercises. The one person, the one who's doing a 10-kilometer run in the morning, that person is doing cardio. The person who's doing 10 sets of 100-meter sprints, that person is doing explosive strength and speed exercises, which isn't cardio at all. It doesn't use the same energy systems, and it doesn't use the heart and the lungs in the same way. Okay, so if I say cardio, I want you to think repetitive, prolonged movements. Okay, so you can do running, you can do cycling, you can do swimming, you can do rowing, or you can go over and do the cardio session that I've developed here, which is jumping jacks, mountain climbers, pulsating squats, burpees. These all will also give you a nice cardio workout. You'll get your heart rate pumping, your breathing rate up, and that is very good for many reasons. The cardio too, you'll see that I recommend you choose between the two. So if you have the ability, go outside or go and do that long run or long cycling or long swimming session. If you don't have the ability to do that, or the time, or it's raining outside, then opt to do cardio too, for obviously the ease of it. But it's much better to go and do it outside in the sun or wherever you want to do your workouts. Just get outside of it. Okay, cool. Then the next week's sessions will be here. I'm going to skip through that. You now know how to use all of these workout sessions. Page 26 is the next one we're going to focus on. So page 26 is a blank workout log. So as I said previously, tracking your progress is very important. If you're doing bench presses today and you use 100 kilograms and you're doing 8 reps at the end of the session, then you want to know the next time that you get there, what did I do the previous time? How can I improve? Can I use a little bit heavier weight? Can I do more repetitions on it? You want to quantify where you started and where you are going every time you go back to the gym. So it's very important. You can print these, or you can have your own little notebook and write down your progress as you're going through it. Okay, so that is then for the blank workout log. Then we're going to the warm-up session. So the warm-up session, I showed it to you a little bit earlier. You can click on this Instagram logo again, and it will take you straight through to the warm-up video you can do. I am not going to spend too much time on the warm-up at the moment. All of the movements are shown here. The same for the cool down. All of the movements are shown there as well. then we get to the part where I spoke about a little bit earlier when I said if you do a certain movement and you have shoulder pain, we have some recommendations to remove those or to replace those workout movements, and here are they. So for instance, when I say do a pike press, if you can't do a pike press, if it hurts your shoulders, move over to do a Superman hold. You can even make it a little bit more intense by adding some resistant bands or weight in your hands as you're doing the Superman holds. But we try and avoid pain at all costs, and we try and substitute as far as possible. But if it still hurts too much, completely skip it. It's not that important. I usually say results come 80% from nutrition and 20% from your workout. So if you can't do all of the workout movements, it is okay, because most of your results will also come from your meal plan and your consistency in that. Okay, I'll explain that a little bit later, but here are a whole list of exercises you can replace it with if you have shoulder injuries and if you have knee injuries especially, and then we get to the exercise library. So if the videos on the workout plans themselves aren't good enough, then you can also come over to the exercise library and have a refresher on how to do the movements. All of the movements should be in here for the respective plans. So the gym workouts, the home workouts, and the home workouts with equipment. Right, next up, we're getting into nutrition and the meal plan. This is a very exciting part of it. This is my favorite part of it at the moment. How to do nutrition properly, how to live healthy, and how to get the best results in the 8 weeks on this program. Cool. So you will see that I share a bunch of information on nutrition in this program. And I know it might feel like a little bit of an information overload in the beginning, but trust me, it's the most valuable thing you will learn in your life, is how to eat healthy and be healthy, how to look at your nutrition in a completely new way. This isn't a, you should eat 7 apples because apples will dehydrate and detox you and then you will lose weight. Not at all. That's not how nutrition works. The liver is what detoxes your body. You cannot detox your body. I'm not going to go down into that whole rabbit hole. But in essence, there's a way to do it, which is healthy. And then there's a way that social media skewed it to be 28-day diet. Wrong. Anyways, let's get into the nutrition and the meal plan. So there are a few things that you can follow that will help you guide and gear and steer into the right direction. And then you can get very particular about it. So if you follow the next few things, you will go in the right direction. It's a good start, right? And then the pages to follow will set you up to do it very, very effectively. Okay, so here I say usually try to have 80% of all of your foods come from whole foods. Things like fruits, vegetables, meats, foods that are raw and natural, that you haven't refined or processed, whole foods. 80% of your diet should come from that. 20% of your diet can come from processed foods. Not saying it should, it can. So there is space in your diet to have processed foods. And yes, something like pasta is processed. Okay, something like cold meats are processed. Next up, then I usually say that you should try and have protein with every meal. Not meat, protein. So protein comes from many sources. You have plant proteins, you have animal proteins. Plant proteins are such as lentils and chickpeas. Those are vegetables that are high in protein. And then obviously your normal meats, your chickens, your fishes, your beefs, all of that also have protein. And the one thing to remember when we're working with protein is animal proteins usually come along with fat. And fats usually from animals are not healthy. This causes cholesterol problems, artery blockages, and eventually heart attacks and strokes. So we want to avoid animal fats as much as possible. So how do we do that? Firstly, we move away from fatty meats. Meats like pork and steaks with a whole piece of meat, fat on it, and chickpeas and stuff like that. So when you have a piece of meat, cut off the fat immediately. Right. That's really going to make a big difference already in your intake in calories, which I'll explain a little bit later, and also in your overall health. So that's protein from meats. So the best, purest protein from animals are your chicken breasts, your fish, and also egg whites. Not the whole egg, the egg white. The whole egg with the egg yolk inside of it, the egg yolk contains all of the fats and the cholesterols. They're pretty high in cholesterol, so if you have cholesterol issues, don't eat egg yolks at all, only eat the egg whites. Okay, top tip from my side, start your day on a high protein note. Always have a 6-egg omelette where you only use like 2 of the egg yolks, or have something like a protein shake and next to it a bit of scrambled eggs with a small piece of rye toast or something like that. However you do it, high protein in the morning will save you throughout the rest of the day. Like I said, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. If you don't know what you're going to eat throughout the day, if you don't have your things sorted, your odds of winning becomes lower and lower. Okay, we'll get to that in a little bit. So 80% from whole foods, 20% could be from processed foods. Then eat protein with every meal, even your snacks like, what do you call it? Smoked chicken, for instance. You can have smoked chicken on cucumber. That's a nice snack. Put some salt and pepper over that. Great stuff. All right, and then I usually say drink a glass of water or 2 with every meal. That will help you get to your water goal every day and also help you feel fuller. Then I say aim to snack on low to moderate carbs and high protein sources. So it can become a very, I almost want to say, a little snag in the line, a little barrier to get over. What do I snack on that isn't going to chase and push up my carbs too much? And this is where you have to get a little bit clever, like with the smoked chicken and the cucumber and biltong, for instance, or a protein shake. Remember to try and not overload yourself with protein shakes. I know it's easy to take a protein shake instead of making a meal because it has a nice amount of protein in it and it is low carbs. But if you are substituting your meals with shakes, then there's already something wrong in your diet. You want to have non-refined foods as your main source. So if you are somebody who thought, yeah, I can just do a meal replacement and a protein shake, and I'll drink this and I'll drink that, and then for dinner I make something, you're already steering yourself in the wrong direction. I'm not saying it won't help. I'm not saying you won't lose weight that way. I am though saying that that isn't the healthiest way to go. All right. Next up on this list is choose a plate size relevant to your goals. How do you do this? We get different sizes of plates. We have massive plates, medium plates, and small plates. So if you know that you usually dish too much food, take a smaller plate. It's the biggest and the smartest starting point to reduce your portion size is just by taking a smaller plate to fill up with food, so you don't have enough space to make it full of food. Okay, but these are only your general rules. We'll get to some more of the nitty-gritty stuff now. And then eat plenty of green fibrous vegetables. Broccoli, green beans, zucchini, all of these vegetables are very low in carbs and calories. They'll keep you full, and trust me, with the clients of mine who get the best results, they eat lots of green vegetables and lots of white meats like fish and chicken breasts. Okay, quick side note, oils, no go. Don't use oils. Get a non-stick pan, spend the 200 or 300 rand or whatever, throw away the oil. We're not going to use oil in this plan. Oil is a total waste of calories. 1 teaspoon of oil is like 200 calories. It's like a 1/10 of your day's energy intake. It's total waste. Don't use it. Cook your stuff with a non-stick pan and some salt and pepper and herbs. That's the best way to go. All right, let's go over to the next part of this program, and that is how to calculate your macronutrients. And what is a macronutrient? What is a calorie? And how does weight loss really work? Cool. So let me summarize how the body works with energy. This is a machine. The body is a machine, and the body uses a certain amount of energy per day to function. The brain functions, we use our muscles to talk, we have our digestive system, we have our hormones being produced, all of this. The body uses a certain amount of energy every day. Okay, this is called your basal metabolic rate. All right, and you can calculate more or less what your basal metabolic rate is, and we're going to do that now. How weight loss works: if you take in less energy, if you eat less energy than your body needs in a day, it will have to use its reserve energy. So the stored energy, wherever your body stores energy most, your fat cells, your fat, however. Okay, so if you consume less energy than your body needs, it will have to go and take some energy from the stores, and that is how you lose fat. If you consume more energy than your body uses, what does it do? It doesn't excrete it, it stores it. Okay, and when you go on diets which are very restrictive, like the 28-day diet, for instance, I keep on coming back to it, but that's a very bad diet. a diet where you eat so little that your body basically goes into starvation mode, then everything you enter into your body stores. It changes its hormone levels and its activity levels and its metabolic speed. Everything changes and it tries to store every bit of food that it can. And that's why right after you finish the 28 diet, for instance, that day diet, for instance, you'll gain all of your weight again because your body slowed down its metabolic rate so much and it's now basically in starvation mode that once you return to a previously normal diet, which still wasn't healthy, once you return to that, it just packs on all of the weight because the metabolic rate is slow and it's in store mode and all of that. So we want to show the body there is more than enough food available in the environment, right? One way we do that is by eating regularly, and we eat plenty of food, but obviously not too much that our body has to store it. Okay, so that energy principle, energy in versus energy out. Okay, so I have a link on this page where you can click on and it'll take you straight to a website where you can calculate your basal metabolic rate. So you fill in your age. I'm quickly going to do mine. I am 24 years old. I'm a male. Click on meters, then fill in. I'm 187 centimeters. So I click in 1 meter and 87 centimeters. Then I click on kilograms. I add my weight, which is 80 kilograms at the moment. I usually say, I recommend that you say maintain weight. We're going to get to the losing weight part or the gaining weight part now. Everybody should say maintain current weight and then choose sedentary. If you are somebody who sits at a desk the whole day, or if you're a school, somebody who's still in school or at university, you are sedentary. Trust me, if you want to go lightly active or moderately active, you have to be somebody who previously did 4 to 5 to 7 workouts a week. And you have to do them at a very high intensity, and then you're going to add these workouts on top of that. All right. So I recommend click on sedentary and maintain current weight. I know a lot of people will think they are not. Just do it. All right. Then click on calculate, and then it will show you my calories, my recommended target calories, my basal metabolic rate. Remember, this is the metabolic rate, the amount of energy my body uses every single day to just stay as I am, is 2,225 calories. That is my basal metabolic rate. Cool. So we go back to the program and you will see that I have a nice guide that's going to show us exactly how to use the program with those calories now. Okay, so I say if you want to lose weight, you usually want to subtract 500 calories per day, and that will lead us to go to around losing 500 grams of fat every week. Now, obviously, it changes and it differs for a lot of people. Some days it will be more, some days it will be less, or some weeks it will be more and some weeks it will be less. But usually, 500 calories less of your metabolic rate than you use during the day will give you a healthy pace of losing weight. So you don't want to lose too much weight too quickly because the fat cells are hormone active. So if your fat cells become empty, they will secrete a hormone to fill them up again. Right? So if you lose too much fat too quickly, the body will release a lot of signaling molecules and hormones to stimulate you to eat more, feel more hungry, crave more, so that you can fill up the cells again. So you want to basically slowly reduce the amount of fat in these cells so that the cells can slowly shrink and they don't secrete all of these hormones that make you feel hungry. I know, the body is stupid. It works against you when it comes to fat loss, but that's more or less how it works. So you want to give it time to adapt and change and not to over-secrete all of these hormones, which will just make you fail. Okay, so you don't want to go too fast. Great, that's important. Now, let's talk about macronutrients and what they are. So I usually say we have energy, right? And this basal metabolic rate, we measure it in calories. So 1 calorie is 1 energy unit. So if I say my body uses 2,225 calories per day, it uses 2,225 energy units per day. Now these energy units are built up by different macronutrients. I call them the pillars of my energy. So the different macronutrients that you get are proteins, carbs, and fats. Obviously we get micronutrients as well, which are all of your vitamins and minerals and alcohols and whatnot. But the most important for you to remember is the proteins, the carbs, and the fats. And we're going to divide our total intake per day through how much protein, carbs, and fats we need in accordance to our goals. So let's do that now. So you'll see on the next page, if it goes to the next page, excuse me. On the next page, you get, I said, different body types. Now, somatotypes, which I show here, endomorphs, mesomorphs, and ectomorphs, is a scientific approach which is a little bit outdated, so it's been updated. So this is just a general idea of the type of person you get, okay? And to identify which one of the following you really are is way more complicated than can be explained in the program and doesn't yield as good results. So that's why I've adapted it and I've shown you as follows. So if your goal is to lose fat, then you're going to select the endomorph type. If your goal is to gain weight, you're going to select the ectomorph type. And if you are somebody who usually gains muscle easily, but you want to lean out, then you choose mesomorph. Okay. If your main goal is to lose a lot of fat or to lose fat primarily or weight, choose endomorph. And that is what I'm going to go with now. That means of our total basal metabolic rate, the total amount of energy that we are taking in, you want to divide that into 25% should come from carbs, 50% should come from protein, and 25% should come from fat. Okay, so there's a very good explanation on how to do this on the next page. It shows you exactly what app you should download, what to fill in. I made a whole follow-along video on how to use this app that we're going to track the amount of protein, carbs, and fats that we take in. I've really gone all in. On page 41 is probably the most important page that I've gone through thus far. This is a very good example of how to calculate your proteins, your carbs, your fats. And remember, I've showed you the app where you can get your, the website, the button where you can get your basal metabolic rate. I've showed you what to select. So first, get your basal metabolic rate. Second, select your goal. So endomorph, ectomorph, mesomorph, lose weight, gain weight, whatnot. And then thirdly, calculate. So come to this page, which is page 18B on the program itself, and fill in all of your details as it stands right here. So you'll see I've done all of the different groups as I've recommended, or as I said just now, with all mesomorph, ectomorph, endomorph, and then you divide your calories, make up your calories, and get the amount of protein, carbs, and fats that you need. Okay, so we're going to be using a app called MyFitnessPal. It's a calorie tracking app. I have the link here on the screen, and please follow these steps step by step. I'm not going to go through it step by step now. You can read it, you can do it. The most important thing is sitting down, spending the time to really get to know what you need to do with the steps. I've explained how to use the links and everything, so this page, page 18A, is just a repetition of how to do that. Okay, so say you have calculated your macronutrients, you have calculated your basal metabolic rate, you've selected your goals, all of that is set, and you have now gone to the MyFitnessPal app and you filled in all of your details in the app. You followed my video, which I will link. I think I can put a link on here somewhere, or I will just send it on the groups to see how to use MyFitnessPal. After you've calculated everything, you can now go over to the, I'm just going to skip over page 19 and A and B. These are just information pages. Read through them on your own time. Top tips on how to get higher proteins, lower fats, what is a protein, what is a carb, what is a fat. And then we're going over to the meal plan itself on page 20 of the meal guide. Okay, so the meal plan has been developed in such a way that it will fit most people's preferences and help them get good results. So if you have classified the amount of proteins you need, carbs you need, fats you need, now you just need to select where you get your protein, carbs, and fats from. So I've gone and made so many nice, easy, and complicated meal examples which you can follow on. The most important part is that you get the right amount of protein, carbs, and fats in. So how do you use this meal plan? You select what you would like for breakfast. Say for instance, option 4, I like all bran flakes with berries. So then you see more or less how much all bran flakes and how much milk and how much berries you should add. You add it into the MyFitnessPal, and then you say, for my snack 1, I would like to have a protein shake. So you can see you can mix up the options as long as you add them into the program, into the app, and you reach your total amount of protein, carbs, and fats. It would be awesome if you can just take this whole option 1, for instance, put it all into the app, and it will match your proteins and carbs and fats 100%. It would be great like that, but unfortunately you can't use the exact same ingredients that I used when I calculated this plan. So this plan will steer you into the right direction. You just need to modify the amounts you take in slightly to match your protein, carbs, and fat goals. This is in essence what will also help you stay healthy and balanced throughout the rest of your life. Because now you'll start to realize, where are the things too high in carbs? Where are the things missing in my diet which isn't adding enough protein for me to stay healthy and lean? So most lean individuals have high protein goals, high protein diets, low carb diets, and low to medium fat diets as well. All right, so long-term goals is to have a balanced lifestyle. How do you do that? You get to know what is in the food that you're eating. So when you're adding something, for instance, like an orange on the app, you will see an orange is quite high in carbs. So if you are planning to have rice for lunch, for instance, and a wrap for dinner, then you're already pushing a little bit on your carb goals. So it's possible that an orange will push you over the limit, and then you won't get as great results. So that's then where you start to kind of get a know-how of how much carbs you should be eating per day. And then once you go off of this program and you stop using the app, which I haven't used in years because I just know these things by now, and you will too. Most of my clients say it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get to know all of these things. So it's quite fast and simple. But anyways, you'll know when you have a breakfast with toast in it, for instance, you'll know that now I've already had 20-30% of my carbs for the day. So I should go slow. I shouldn't eat 2 fruits for a snack, and I should not eat pasta and rice as my 2 other main meals. I'll rather just have rice for lunch, and then for dinner I'll have a salad or vegetables. Vegetables are low in carbs if you choose the right vegetables. So colorful vegetables usually have a lot of carbs, and green vegetables are usually low in carbs, the safer option. Okay, so I have a lot of vegan source options. I have a lot of options for you to go through. You can mix and match them as long as you reach your protein, carb, and fat goals every day. You should be good to go. Okay. So I'm going to skip through that, and then I get to the MyFitnessPal explanation. As I've said, I've made a whole video on this. Click on the YouTube button. It takes you straight through to the app. It's a 9-minute full explainer video how to download the app, all the way through on how to log your food, use the scanner option, everything. All right, if you have more questions about it, please ask on the group. But if you haven't watched the videos and you haven't watched this video or read through the plan, I will know, because I know what I say in those videos. Please do the effort, read the program properly, watch all the videos, do the effort. You get out of this program what you put into the program. Okay, so let me switch over to, where is my program? There you go. This is the MyFitnessPal explanation, step by step. There's also a video on it to help you get through it. And that's the end of the program for now. So a lot of this comes down to long-term education and full dedication, right? So I want you to do the effort. As you've heard, there's a lot of information. There's a good summary of everything on the program. There's videos, there's follow-along workouts. There's me on the groups, there's Peter, there's the WhatsApp groups. So please feel free to share and to motivate and ask questions and grow together. As I said in the beginning, progress, not perfection. We focus on being better every day rather than trying to be perfect, messing up and starting over. You never start over. Once you've made this decision in the new year, it's progression, progression, progression. And once you see, or at some random moment during the year, you'll look back and you'll be like, I can't believe I made this much progress. Okay, I really want you to be excited, and I really want you to put in the work. I really want you to share your journey with everybody on the WhatsApp group, even on Instagram. Tag me in everything, comment on the posts. I'll be sharing a lot of information in the coming weeks as well to help you really gear towards taking back control. It's more than just nutrition and workouts. It's taking back your control over your lifestyle, over your diet, and really shifting away from what the world has created to be unhealthy ideals. They usually say it's okay to eat takeaways 2 to 3 times a week, which it really isn't. It's not okay. It's nice, and it's, It tastes nice, but we always feel bad afterwards, and it never helps the health of our body anyways, right? So let's change our minds towards a long-term health mind and a now dedication and all-in mindset. Okay, I'm excited to have you on this challenge. That's enough from me for now. I hope to see you on the WhatsApp groups. I hope to get some interaction from you guys. Ask your questions, be involved, share your progress, share screenshots of your food. If you're working out, take a selfie, tag me on Instagram, all of those cool things. I look forward to having you on this challenge. That's it from me for now. I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye.